Brodes Media.
My blood is still legitimately boiling from last night. I have so many directions that I want to take the show, and I can't even get my feet grounded because I get so aggravated. I think about Rob, and I want to punch him in his face. I think about Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, and I'm so disgusted with their efforts. I hear what Nick Castellanos has to say about this fan base, and my toes fucking curl, okay? I hear Alec Bohm describe how the moment is just too big, and they can't execute. Well, then you're not a big-time player. Then you're not a playoff performer. Then you're not championship caliber. It's very simple. And we have so much audio to talk about and to play and to react to because at the end of the day, as if last night's game wasn't enough and wasn't painful enough, somehow this group opened up their mouth and made it that much worse. That's almost impossible. Guys, we were so down and out and broken. How did it get lower than that? We had to hear them talk, and it got worse. But I'm still not even over half the crap that happened in the game. The bunt. The bunt will live on forever. You know what's funny? J-Roll was on the TBS broadcast and he broke down the play and what should have happened, what could have happened, and it was very detailed. And it was cool to listen to. As I realized, J-Roll is 3 minutes into his description. You know what I said? You think this team and Nick Castellanos, of all people, would be able to process that on the bases? Come on. Like, I watched what the Dodgers did defensively. 0% fucking chance the Phillies could ever, in a billion years, execute a play like that. And by the way, the Dodgers never worked on it. They even said, oh my God, we just kind of pulled that out of our ass. I'm paraphrasing, but that's not something that they prepare for. And they just do it because they're winners. You think we have a team that knows how to think about the game logically? You think we have guys who know what they're doing on the bases? Oh, man. And by the way, the whole, you didn't have anybody to pinch run for Nick anyway because Bader's banged up and you needed Willie in case he got on. There is a world where if you didn't pinch hit Stott for Sosa with 2 outs and nobody on, that Stott could have been the one you pinch run. He's on second base. Just saying, there is a world where that happens. Every decision matters. And every decision Rob Thomson makes is wrong. Every one. Every single one. It's unbelievable. And I want you right now to listen to what Dave Roberts had to say after the game. This is annihilation. It really is. If I'm Rob Thomson, I hear this. This is straight up annihilation. This deserves to lose Rob Thomson his job by the time this is all said and done. This was Dave Roberts on the play, the execution of the play during the bunt. Here you go.
It was an impromptu play that I just told Mookie, you know Stott's going to bunt. He's a good bunter, and so let's just run a wheel play. And Max, be aggressive, field it, and Mookie get over there and beat Castellanos there. And, those guys executed it to perfection. It was a lot tougher. They made it look a lot easier than it was. And for me, that was our only chance really to win that game in that moment.
Boom! You played right into their head! That was the only way they could win. The only way they could have won! And you said, here you go. Have it. It's unbelievable. You did exactly what they needed you to do. You decided to help the Dodgers out. You didn't have a killer mentality. No. You didn't go for their fucking jugular. No. You played for the tie. You played for the tie and lost. Oh, my God. And you deserve to lose when you play for the tie. But when I heard Dave Roberts say that sentence in particular, I fainted. I went, oh, my God. That should be the nail on the coffin for Rob Thompson's job. That's how much I think he mismanaged this thing. That's how much he's so off base with how to manage in the postseason. There was a reporter for The Athletic who tweeted this out after the game. The Dodgers are up 2-0, and they got 3 outs from traditional relievers in these 2 games. What would you say the strength of the Phillies is? I don't even think it's fucking close. They're starting pitching. And the depth of their starting pitching. And trust me, I know the loss of Zach Wheeler hurts big time, but you have to make unique decisions at this time of the year. The Dodgers realized their bullpen won't cut it. It won't fly. That's why it was insane to think that they didn't just go to Sasaki in the 9th inning there. But the point is, you have to use creative options. Orion Kerkering inheriting runners when he stunk at it all year. And then here's the broadcast, right? The broadcast says this. Well, when you talk to Rob, you get a feeling that he really appreciates what Kerkering did in game 1. And that's given him positivity towards Kerkering. Game 1? You watched Orion Kerkering in game 1 and thought, you know what? Because of game 1, I'm going to put him in the game with the season on the line 2 days later and ignore the fact that he stinks inheriting runners? It's managerial malpractice. Aaron Nola, Walker Buehler, and I'm not even a big Walker Buehler guy. Again, I could have seen a world where Rob Thompson did this, what I'm saying to do, and them still lose, but at least I can understand that Rob Thompson has a grasp on what you need to do and the way you have to think in playoff ball. You have to think a different way. If he thinks the right way, but the results are poor just because, listen, Aaron Nola has been bad this year. So if him coming out of the pen doesn't work, I could live with that over Rob not truly digesting the fact that he needs to have a fucking pulse this time of the year. It's unbelievable. It's bad. This is jarring how bad Rob Thompson is because he's been around baseball a long time. He's been at Yankee Stadium. I mean, we're talking a long time. So for him to be this out of touch, it really does stun me. It does. I can't believe it's this gross. But he rides with his guys, right? Except for Stott. Right? He rides with his guys, right? I believe in my guys, right? I go to Kerkering because I believe in them, right? But we can't trust Bryson Stott to pull a ball lefty-lefty to the right side at worst. At worst. Let alone if he gets a hit. Let alone if he puts it into right field. Let alone if he drives the ball nicely. No, I don't trust you to do that. Let's just put Nick Castellanos in a position to try and take third on a... Oh, my God. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'll tell you what's not bad, though. Weed. What's that, Brodes? Camden Apothecary? That's correct. Phillies fans, when you're choosing a dispensary, you want 3 things. Convenience, quality, and fair prices. And Camden Apothecary checks all the boxes. Located just minutes over the Ben Franklin Bridge, with ample free parking space, Camden Apothecary is built for fans on the go. Their team prioritizes your experience. So you're not just another customer, you are a part of the community. And the product's always top quality. You're getting the best cannabis around at prices that are actually fair. No gimmicks, no inflated numbers, just the real deal. Whether it's pregame, postgame, or any day in between, Camden Apothecary is the stop every Philly sports fan should be making. Convenient, friendly, fair, Camden Apothecary. Cannabis done right for fans 21 and older. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. And as you know, I've been broken because of these sports teams, okay? And I need to relax at night, because if not, I'll be bouncing off the walls. I can't stress enough how angry I still am. And the reason why personally I think I'm a little stunned by that is normally I get what I need to get out the night of. I crash out, I have my post-game reaction if it's that ugly, and then the following day we'll do a day after pod. We'll have 24 hours to let it sort of sink in. You understand? Okay, now let's talk about it with a fresher mind. I ain't got no fresher mind, okay? Ain't no such thing as a fresher mind. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about this moment right here where Bryce Harper let us down.
Best arm of the outfield is in center field with Pajes. Turner, great speed at second base. And Harper, a swing at him as he struck him out. Snell goes back to the slider. What a big K that.
Can't happen. Can't happen. We need Bryce, man. We really do. And the more and more you think about it, when we talk about 22, that was a long time ago. A long time ago. Whenever they're expected, because that came out of nowhere. Whenever they're expected, they just fold. And think about all the discussion that we've had about this group. At the deadline, there was a debate on if they needed bullpen or bats, right? Meaning their offense wasn't consistent enough, and you know you needed more reliable arms out of your pen. There was a discussion about Trey Turner's defense needing to improve. And do you feel confident if the ball gets scorched his way in the playoffs? That was a horrible throw. Think about the Dodgers defense, what Mookie Betts was capable of doing with the game on the line, and what Trey Turner did. And we can bark about JT Realmuto making a business decision to not block the plate a little bit more as well. But, like Trey Turner, that's been a talk, is what's his defense like? You have to be awesome. You have to make great plays. You have to make plays where people go, damn, that was sick. Damn, that was a great play. That's what winning caliber teams do. That's what superstars do. That's what championship teams do. You must make those style of plays if you ever foresee yourself in a run. And I need Trey Turner to make a better throw there. So that happened. There was a bunch of fans saying, I got to be proven wrong that I don't believe in the offense because they might go cold. My point is this, as I'm rattling off all the phases of this team that scared us outside of starting pitching, if we're being honest, you were all right. There were some that hated Rob Thompson so much and said he never knows what he's doing. You were proven to be right. There were some that have been bashing Dave Dombrowski for putting together a faulty lineup, thinking that you can run it back with the same group and not get the same result. Hey, ding, 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 ding. I don't know if you realized yet, but you got the same exact result to a T, to a damn T, the same result. What are the Trey at-bats? Oh, my God. What are the Nick at-bats? Holy hell. A few of the Bryce ones. Kyle. Can Kyle get a hit? And, there was a time where we liked Kyle Schwarber. He hit 50-something bombs, but hit what? Maybe 190? And we said he strikes out too much. He doesn't use the whole field. Then he brought his batting average up. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is, when was the last time Kyle Schwarber just hit a single? Honestly, it's a real question. When was the last time you felt, instead of chasing down Ryan Howard's record, which in the regular season against the Marlins, fine. Against the Twins, whatever. But it's a different beast now. I mean, I see some of the hacks I made noises for a couple of the hacks that Kyle and Bryce made where I go, whoa, because they swung out of their shoes. And they're power hitters. I understand that's part of what makes them special. But when you're this flat, when you're this dead, when you have zero signs of life, maybe that's not the time to try and overdo it. Maybe you're overthinking and trying to overdo it in the moment. You got to let the game just play itself out instead of trying to force it. And it seems like they're forcing it. And the reason why that bothers me is this isn't year one of them trying to force it. If you told me in 23, it really ate them alive that against the Diamondbacks in 6 and 7, they were at home and they put so much pressure on themselves. They tried to maneuver through it, but they just had to go through that learning curve to be better now. Fine. If you were a team that was just figuring out what life is like in the postseason and you realized we were doing too much, we were overthinking, we were stressed out every at-bat because we wanted to be the superstar, we wanted to be the hero, we wanted to have the cape, but we had to learn how to not do that, I could subscribe to it in theory. But now's the time where you should acknowledge I don't need to swing so damn hard that all I'm trying to do is rip one 450 feet and I can pass it off to the next guy, which brings up a fascinating discussion. Because on Foul Territory, Kevin Pillar had this to say about the way the Phillies play.
Hot take for you right now.
Okay.
I think we can make an argument that the Phillies lineup 1 to 9 is much better than the Blue Jays lineup and Brewers lineup. Would you agree? 1 through 9, more talented, more dangerous. I do believe, and I'm not there. This is just a hot take. I've never been in that clubhouse with Philly, but I've had the conversations with the Blue Jays, and you were obviously with the Milwaukee Brewers. I think those teams have a much better collective approach where I feel like the Phillies are so much more reliant on individual talent that they feel like at some point just the talent is going to take over and they're good enough to not really like have this pass the baton mentality or, hey, we're going to eliminate this pitch, we're going to wear them out. Because these two teams that, don't hit a ton of home runs, that aren't filled 1 through 9 with, high octane offensive players are going out and scoring a ton of runs. So I think there's also this way that you play in the regular season that definitely changes when you get into the postseason. And I think those two teams have an advantage right now because I think they've been playing postseason baseball for the entirety of the season.
Very fascinating. Very fascinating. And I'm a little upset with myself that it's taken me this long to get to the Nick Castellanos stuff because he ripped our fan base, and I want to get to that, but somehow I'm here. So let's just go with the flow, bro. Shut up. I said this in maybe halfway through the year, and I got mocked for it a little bit. I said they don't look like a team to me. They don't play like a team to me. They look like a group of guys that all wear the same uniform, that win baseball games, but they don't play like a team. Hand up, when the Zach Wheeler news came down, I think something happened in real life that really affected everyone, so that pushed them closer together. Max Kepler's career was on life support, and he managed to find a way to revive it, and I think the guys rallied around that a little bit. I think Harrison Bader brought in this urgency and this flair that helped build chemistry a little bit. So the reason why I opened my heart back up is I thought I could see the team meshing together. Guys like Sanchez really stepping up, Luzardo stepping up. When you see someone like Zach Wheeler go through something so unfortunate and something so real and something that is so scary and something that, it's not baseball anymore. This is family, loved ones, like a real, true human side of things. And That can totally be a rallying cry. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but I think you understand. That's what sort of built something different from what I was seeing for so long, that I was willing to see where that took me as a fan to buy into that. And the truth is, what I saw for majority of the season was the truth. That back statement, they can overpower people just because they're that good of hitters throughout the regular season. You're playing teams that are putrid. Okay, so you won a 4-game series against the Washington Nationals. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Wow, you went on the road and you played really well against Seattle. And Seattle's actually doing well and competitive here during the backstretch where there's not a lot of teams left. But my point is that this time of the year, it's a different animal. I don't care if you beat Seattle or the Dodgers in the regular season in July. And I know that's all we can go off of in the moment, but you also need to relate it to where this group and core is. If this is a young, exciting team with a lot of youth that you're watching build and grow, for example, the Red Sox. Boston leaves that Red Sox-Yankees series. Believe it or not, I've been paying attention to what they're saying up there without Roman Anthony and all, but you can see the progression that they're building towards something. So if they're winning games on the road in the regular season and you're looking for them to be building a culture and a winning attitude and having solid players that can push the franchise into a better spot, and you're looking at the long term with it, then you can see valuable wins and all. I don't give a damn about their 96 regular season wins, even if they're against decent opponents, because they crumble now. They crumble now. And they can rely on all the talent they want in the world to win these regular season games when you're taking out your starter at 68 pitches if you're the other team, because Shohei Ohtani doesn't need to throw his full 90. All right, because Blake Snell doesn't need to throw more pitches. We're saving his tank for when it's the playoffs. Whoop-de-doo. And you shrink so much when we need you the most. It's unreal, man. It really is. But I never saw this team as a team. It felt like a bunch of guys that were extremely tight because they knew there was pressure. And that's not our fault. You don't think the Dodgers have had pressure to win championships? You don't think the Yankees have pressure to win championships? You don't think these teams have pressure to win championships? That's called being a pro athlete. That's not a, hey, this market is too tough thing. And if you think that's the case, then go play in Miami. What you can't do is this. What you can't do is say it's so electric and sick that we can have 31,000 people sell out an open practice or a inter squad game. And you can't boast about how awesome that is and how great it is, and then cry that we want to see you compete and swing the guys. You were getting no hit throughout the playoffs again. I'll tip my cap to Blake Snell. I think he had a good game. You have to do more than what you've been giving. You've been giving us the minimum, whatever the minimum is. Subtract 50,000, and that's what you're giving us. Sorry if we're disappointed and upset with that, when all you did was say, you want the smoke, it's time to go, playoff mode, let's have at it. That was the attitude and the swagger that you guys sort of walked into the postseason with, and you're getting pantsed. And I said this from the top. There's a world where you face this Dodgers team and you lose a heartbreak 5-game series. But I'm proud of the fight, and I have pride in what you did. This is going out with a whimper. And we'll play the Alec Bohm audio here. We'll get to what Nick Castellanos said, but hear the fans. This was when Nick was at the play. By the way, talk about stupid decisions this team makes. The fact that he even got to second base, woof. He should have been thrown out, okay? So it's just another thing that this team does that is just blatantly losing baseball. It's losing baseball that you just got lucky. But when you get lucky, you got to make the most of it. Anyway, tell me this fan base, oh, we're evil. We're just terrible.
Ryan deals. Castellanos with a base hit. In the score is Bohm. Real Muto right behind him. Castellanos is safe at second. It's a one-run game.
So Nick Castellanos, he said this. It's super stimulating and euphoric. I don't know why I have a very difficult time saying that word. If everything is going for us, but then it's a very uphill climb when you can feel that everything is amplified negatively. Like if you do something bad, you're going to get a negative response. So it makes it harder to play freely. If everything is going good and we're rolling, it's a bitch to play here if you're an opposing team because the environment is amazing. But if we roll into adversity and the tide shifts, we're playing more tight because we don't want to be reprimanded for something bad and playing becomes more difficult. That sounds like a you problem. It does. It sounds like a you problem. Now, I do think there's something to be said about a baseball crowd at home when their team isn't living up to the standard. There is an eerie feeling, without a doubt. But that's not our fault. The fans react to what you do. And there are times when we understand it's desperation time, so we're trying to manufacture life and buzz, even though you're giving us pure vomit, even though you've been stinking, even though you're giving us absolute nothing. They try. They're on their feet. They're trying to cheer. You get a walk with 2 outs. You're at the bottom of the lineup. You're down 4. You're trying to ignite a fire the best that you can, but you're almost pointing the finger like we can't do our job because you guys are getting in the way with us emotionally. We can't succeed because we're getting uncomfortable with you so close to the back of our necks. You want us to do something so badly that you're pressuring us into feeling uncomfortable. That's the tone that I get from Nick. Nobody's discrediting that it does get eerie. It gets eerie. That's pro sports. That's the separator, though, between knowing how to manage these type of very important high-pressure moments. Do you think it's high-pressure moments to play in the Super Bowl? Do you think the Eagles fans want the offense and the defense to click during the Super Bowl? Is there too much pressure to go out and beat Kansas City 40-6 in the Super Bowl? Do you think there's pressure on Doug Peterson and Nick Foles to outduel Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? Do you think there's pressure in a 7-game series for the Stanley Cup Finals if you're down 2-0 at home? Yes, 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 yes. So that means you don't have the mental makeup and the mental fortitude to push through whatever that difficulty is to succeed in the playoffs. And the ironic part is, out of everybody, dating back to last year's failure, Nick, when he helped out in this game, I mean, he seems to be okay-ish. He has his bad and rough strikeouts, but that happens all the time with him. I want nothing to do with him moving forward, but I'm just saying it's ironic because there's people who struggle with it more than him. And I get it, he's keeping it real and this and that, but you know what he's terrible at? Understanding who the hell he's talking to. Because he said a few weeks back, and it was sort of thrown out the window because we were so eagled up, that Rob Thompson's a horrendous communicator. And now some are saying, well, maybe Rob is a horrendous communicator. We've been hearing Game 3, Ranger Suarez forever now. It's Aaron Nola. Well, he's ready for Game 1. He's ready for Game 2. He's ready for Game 3. Nope. Ranger Suarez, nowhere to be found. Maybe he's a garbage communicator, and Nick was right. Even if he is right, meaning maybe there is some pressure when the fans want something and you're not getting. Your job is to block that out and perform. I don't want to hear that today. What the hell is the matter with you? Same applies to Nick with Rob. Even if Rob is a bad communicator, which we find out, in what world does it make sense before a playoff run for you to talk to me and say, who says Rob's a good manager? Who said Rob's a good communicator? I didn't experience that ever. What the hell is the matter with you? The guy has no clue how to read the room. It's unbelievable. Just like my Emilio cigars are unbelievable, though. The opposite, though. Nick and the Phillies, unbelievable in a negative way. Dude, these Emilio cigars are so outstanding. It makes me fall in love with smoking my cigars at night. Listen, old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, third generation made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. These cigars are as good as it gets. There's only one cigar to smoke, and that's an Emilio cigar. If you go online, click the link down below in the description, you will see all the options they have available for you. So, if you're going golfing, here's a 4-pack for you. Bada bing, bada boom. You got the boys locked and loaded. If you're going to a family party, the aunts, the uncles, the cousin, it's for a 3-year-old birthday party. Maybe you sit out back by the pool, a nice couple how-do-you-do's with the family. Maybe after a long day at work, you want to go out back and enjoy the late fall weather. Bada bing, bada boom. Emilio Cigars. What if I told you that you get 10% off by using code BRODES10 at checkout, huh? How about that, baby? It doesn't get much better than that. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. Okay. You want to hear Alec Bohm? Let's hear Alec Bohm. This was Alec Bohm about big spots.
You're trying so hard that you just, whatever it is, you just kind of, it just gets you. You just kind of, I don't know how to explain what happens in those spots, but you just, everything's so heightened and you're so kind of like, you're just so hyper focused that you see something and you don't even know like why you swung or what, like it just happens. So, you know, that's just the part of the game where you got to slow it down as best as you can and stay within yourself and just try to, you know, just hit a little line drive up the middle or something.
So what I hear there, I mean, first off, wholly defeated. I mean, holy nothing. I mean, just flat out nothing. Broken man right there. That sounds like a guy that says, I can't figure out what I'm seeing, and I'm thinking I'm seeing something else when I'm really not, and my mind is so jumbled that I can't execute the way I want to execute on the biggest stage. Well, that means you're not that type of player. That means you can't handle it. And it seems like what I'm learning here, not that I needed to hear it from their words, I can watch their play and figure it out pretty quickly, but they don't have what it takes to be a championship caliber team. And they're farther away from that than we thought, right? We questioned them, but I think even a lot of us who questioned who they were, be honest, did you think that they would whimper out to the point where they just flat out embarrass themselves and suck this bad? Some of you may say yes, but, you know, I think Kyle Schwarber's NL MVP, regular season, and Bryce, and, you know, I think these guys deserve the benefit of the doubt that they could at least play baseball to some level. To some level. Maybe I'm wrong to think that. I didn't know if they'd necessarily win. I expected they could put up a decent fight, and maybe it's one of those you got the worst draw ever. I wouldn't have been surprised if this ended with us saying, man, that sucks. We have to have serious talks about serious change, but we do recognize that you went up against a behemoth that is most likely going to win this championship again, and I mean, it sucks that that's who you had to get matched up against. I wouldn't have been surprised if that could have been the takeaway. Instead, it's, you guys don't even know how to compete. You guys look to be the Oakland A's. You guys look to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. You look to be the Cincinnati Reds. Outside of Jesus Luzardo, a few guys, right? Jesus Luzardo, Christopher Sanchez. Who else? Bader. Bader's on one leg out there. He's getting a hit. Guy could barely move. Did you see him trying to get to first base? Barely can even move an inch. This dude steps up to the plate and gets a hit. Just like that. Bang. Snap of the finger. Puts you right into the outfield. Boom. I like Bader a lot. I'd love to bring him back, but there's so many discussions to have. What do you do with JT? What do you do with Ranger? What do you do with Nick? What do you do with Kyle? What do you do with Bohm? Some real conversations to have. Unreal. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the Eagles yet. Big meeting. Saquon, AJ, Jalen. There's reports coming out of Dallas that Jalen's a horrible personality. I got to deal with this first. Before I let you go, you know I love my friends over at DraftKings, baby. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You can take a look at Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, over under Saquon, over under Jalen Hurts passing yards, maybe over under AJ Brown receiving yards. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Brodes. That's code Brodes to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-879-8777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boudreaux Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. This is a limited time offer only. All right. With that, go Phillies.